Owners of buildings marked for demolition in Salanta Housing Estate are asking Kano State government to provide proof that they obtained the land titles illegally from the former administration of Abdullahi Ganduje. Trust TV, which has been following the development, reports that the residents also allege harassment and inhuman treatment by security operatives. Take a look. Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf of Kano State has reinstated Barrister Mui Magaji Rimingado as chairman of the Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission, PCACC, to complete his tenure. The decision follows an order from the National Industrial Court, which deemed his removal from office as unlawful. Barrister Mui was earlier suspended by the previous administration of Governor Abdullahi Ganduje, allegedly due to his efforts to investigate the first family regarding purported financial impropriety. The Chief Press Secretary to the State Governor, Sanusi Bature Dewakintofa, issued a statement on Wednesday saying the reinstatement is with immediate effect. Yusuf has issued an order requiring the 19 nominees for commissioner to comply with Code of Conduct regulations. As part of this directive, the nominees are expected to declare their assets within specified time frame before undergoing screening at the State Assembly. The governor emphasized that no nominee will be sworn in as a cabinet member without completing the asset declaration form from the Code of Conduct Bureau. The governor further stressed his administration's dedication to transparency, accountability, and good governance, which were key promises made during his election campaign. These remarks from Governor Yusuf follow earlier announcement that he will disclose the names of individuals who allegedly received illegal land allocations from the former Governor Abdullahi Ganduje-led administration, specifically at the Kano Polytechnic. The governor expressed his commitment to restoring the institution's reputation and unveiled his intention to reveal the identities of other beneficiaries who had misused lands designated for educational purposes. We now have the clips from the demolition package in Kano. Have a look.
Samini Shehu is a Kano-based businessman who recently moved into his multi-million naira penthouse. Marked for demolition, Saminu is now working hard to remove his belongings, even though he has all the necessary government-issued documents.
We are not the
first allotee. We bought it from the people who initially got the land, and we paid all the necessary dues. In fact, we went to Kanubda, we paid their money, we paid the state government on, everything has been paid, and we've done it in accordance with the law. So our land is legally obtained, and we have already built our houses here. Kano state government has recently revealed that nearly 70% of these estate is owned or illegally sold by the wife of the former governor and her children. A statement challenged by these people.
If the state governor says 70% of the houses here are owned by Gogo and her children, why wouldn't the governor investigate and then take over the 70% belonging to Gogo and leave the rest? But if he continued to destroy these houses, believing that 70% are owned by Gogo, then what happens to the remaining 30%? I think the governor needs to investigate.
According to these people, despite obtaining all the necessary documents from the State Urban Planning and Development Authority, officials of the state government are violating their human rights in an attempt to force them out of their houses.
There is absolutely violation of Human Rights Act because some of the residents here with their family have been beaten, had been damaged by civil defense. They came with it because police are not involved now in the operation because they have an order from their Inspector General of Police that they should not involve themselves unless there is court jurisdiction, which they are not obtaining any jurisdiction before they demolish any place in Kano State. So they used to come with talks political talks and civil defense. So yesterday they came with civil defense and political talks, which you can see on social media trending. They have beaten one of the residents here. They beaten his pregnant wife yesterday. She has been admitted in hospital yesterday.
While the demolition exercise continues across many parts of the state, these people are hopeful that the Kano state government will take them to court in order to figure out the truth about the legality of their properties. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
And now with me on the program, the reinstated chairman of the Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission in Kano State, Barrister Muhui Magajiri Mengado. He joins us from our studios in Kano. Welcome to the program, Barrister.
Thank you very much for having me.
We're happy having you, and you have seen our first clip. Even though I will not ask the first question from there, we definitely put it in order to make a point. You are chairman of the Anti-Corruption and Public Complaint Commission. That's why we have it. So we'll get back to that much later in the program. How did you felt when you were reinstated by Governor Yusuf today?
Everything off, and I really appreciate the fact that the governor, who invariably was not the one that appointed me to head that commission, so written in the court order that ordered the Kano State government to reinstate me back to the position which hitherto I was occupying for almost 6 years, and later I was suspended by the same administration that have appointed me. And secondly, you may remember vividly that the National Industrial Code Abuja Division has issued series of orders that was not even complied by the immediate past administration. So it is something to rejoice for this incumbent administration to see reason and respect the court order and do the needful in terms of reinstating me back to the position. At least it has entrenched the rule of law, and it has shown that we have hope in Nigeria, especially the judiciary and the system. If these kind of activities continue, then we will have hope, and there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, obviously, the commission you are heading is a replica of the one at the center, at the national level. Maybe ICPC or EFCC or Code of Conduct Bureau and all that. It's like Kano tried to have a miniature of what is obtained at the national level, which more or less many Nigerians describe as a thankless job. When you were asked to leave, why did you go to court instead of you just packing your things to go home?
You see, had it been the previous administration just asked me to go, as in that they don't want to work with me, that's a different ball game. I think you cannot force an unwilling servant to an unwilling master. But when they now allege something, or they allege that there is some inferences that they have alleged to have been committed by me, then they could not give me a fair hearing, and that is what informed my decision to challenge what they did in court, because at least it has to go down with my reputation. I have suffered a lot. I spent at least years building my reputation and career. I will not allow somebody simply because he felt offended because of what the commission is doing. As the name entails, it is anti-corruption. It is always termed as fight against corruption. So when somebody sent you to fight, you definitely got hurt in the process. So at least some people have misgiving in what we have been doing, or rather they are not happy with what we did in terms of investigating them. So that's when they started, when you want to hang a dog, give it a bad name. So they want to give me a bad name, and that is when I stood my ground and now challenge all the injustice meted against me in the court, and it comes out positive as we expected it. So it's not an issue that an issue that I don't want to leave. It's an issue of integrity and to make sure that at least I redeem my right in appropriate ways.
Yes. Now at the industrial court, what you sought for was your reinstatement. What about the allegations leveled against you? Have you cleared them? And can you mention one or two allegations leveled against you by the Ganduje administration?
You know, in the first place, when they wanted to suspend me, they alleged that the commission refused to accept a direct posting from the office of the accountant general. Yes, which I said it is pursuant to the provision of Section 15 of the law that establishes the commission and that of Section 8. Section 15 empowers the commission to employ and discipline its staffs. So nobody is empowered by law apart from those that comprise the membership of the commission, which is myself as chairman and some other commissioners and the part-time members and the secretary or thereabout. All other appointments are to be done by the commission, and that's what we told them. And under Section 8, the law says that in exercising its powers under the law, the commission shall not be subjected to the direction and control of any authority. So you cannot cease, you cannot allow us, because by the nature of the commission is too generous. It comes to cure certain defects. So now it has the power to investigate the office of the Attorney General, Accountant General, or any other public servant in the state. So when you allow a window whereby somebody will just come and intrude into the activities or what the commission is doing, then certainly the independence of the commission will be compromised, and what you wanted to achieve, it will not be achieved. And that's when we now rejected any direct involvement in that act. So they translate it to be a kind of inference as they said it. So when they suspended me on that basis, we challenged what they did in the court. And we got an order in the Kano State High Court of Justice, and they tried to intimidate the court. And that is when they now rush and prematurely ask the police to arrest me and recommend for the governor to dismiss me on the fact that another allegation that they said I gave them the medical report that is according to what they said is fake.
Yeah.
So when the police investigated the matter and they could not establish the forgery they are alleging against me, they quickly again and connive with some of their cronies to file a frivolous charges against me in the magistrate court, claiming that I tell the State House of Assembly lies through my counsel. I did not have any direct contact with the State House of Assembly that even make it possible for me to tell them lies. But in their own wisdom or in their own understanding, they saw it as a way for them to do away with me, and that is why they now initiated such kind of frivolous persecution. So to sum everything up, all these issues and all these scenarios will be before the court, and the court have seen all the reasons what we have told them, and all the defenses are there in all the processes, both in Abuja and in Kano Industrial Court Division, and all the courts come out positive to say that this is an infringement. You remember that in Abuja they said that it is infringement of my fundamental rights, and they said that the police shall perpetually desist from interfering or meddling in any affairs that concern me. Yeah. And that the Kano Industrial Court now make all what they did as nullity and declare that the dismissal, the purported dismissal, they claim to have meted against me on 23rd January of this year is unconstitutional, ultra biased, null and void, and of no effect. So if you sum everything, at least as far as I'm concerned, I'm convinced, I'm satisfied that I have cleared myself, and at least posterity has vindicated me.
Now, can we say your removal, I mean the allegation against you that you refused to accept the accountant sent to you, was an alibi to get at you because of some of the works you are doing at the anti-corruption agency? For instance, there is this allegation that you wanted to investigate the first family, the former first family. Is that correct?
It's not wanted. We have started investigation on the cases, about 3 cases.
Okay.
There's one case that involved the consultants, so-called consultants, that they have appointed to be collecting revenues from Kano State government. And when the commission got the intelligence, I ordered for an investigation on that it belonged to some of the people within the corridor of power. But we are doing it in good faith because we are doing our job. We are doing only our job. So so they now misinterpreted to mean that we are trying to get to the first family.
Okay.
So, but if you look at what that's a law, an act of National Assembly, tax approved list of collection acts. If you look at section 2 of that law, it prohibits any person other than appropriate tax authority to assess or collect revenue on behalf of any government. And appropriate tax authority has been classified by the side that law to mean either local government revenue office or board of internal revenue of the state or internal revenue service of federal revenue service of the federation, or any other appropriate agency that is empowered to collect revenue, like custom and others. So now you have a situation whereby you will have somebody who is not paying any tax, who will come and now collect or assess tax without any effort, collect tax on behalf of the government, and in some cases even got away with up to 40 to 50% of the revenue. So in Kano, invariably, if we get 7 billion in a month, somebody will take about 2 to 3 billion naira. And that's when the commission, if you look at the appropriate provision of the commission, especially section 9, which says the commission shall have power to either on its own initiative or following a complaint lodged before it by any other person to investigate any administrative act of any organ of government. And that's when we initiated that investigation. So boldly, the commission was intimidated, and that is when they now said that, in fact, before they even edged me out, they stopped giving the commission, including the overhead costs, about 3 months or 4 months before I left that place.
So you are deprived. Is there
yes, we are deprived.
Is there any connection between what you just said and what we are witnessing in Kano? The demolitions of some structures, among them allegedly owned by the former first family, and then even the attempt by the government to now go after some, things outside Kano.
I think I am not in the position to say much about the demolition that is taking place, because the government has its own mouthpiece that they can discuss. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't know if it will be helpful for me to state what I know, because I happen to be member of the transition committee, and at least I'm the secretary of the government asset recovery committee, a subcommittee established during the transition committee, and I happen to be one of the, or rather the secretary of the committee that perhaps investigate all this alleged the asset allegedly owned by some other people that believe to be perhaps linked to the first family.
Can you mention some discovered by the committee? Can you mention some of those assets discovered by the committee?
Okay, like the issue of Dollar Hotel, that is one of the major issues that is taken. Dollar Hotel was a hotel built perhaps in periphery with the government, because it was built by Audbago, of blessed memory, the governor of Kano State, the first military governor of Kano State. And when the previous administration wanted to get rid of Dollar Hotel, they now initiated what they term to be a private partnership, PPP, private-public partnership.
Yeah.
But everybody in Kano, I can tell you this, everybody in Kano, we have public procurement law in Kano. Even before the law was established, was enacted in 2021.
Yeah.
We have what we call public procurement manual of Kano State.
Okay.
Ordinarily, under normal circumstances, this is a public procurement or rather public auction or whatever you may call it. The law provides that it must be transparent. There must be a bidding. There must be an advertisement. It must be transparent in the nutshell.
Yeah.
But in the issue of dollar is always speculative. Nobody knows what happens. Until when we investigated the matter, we found out that there is a company. This company is called Lamash Properties Limited. When we now investigated to know
the people behind it.
Yes, we are calling we lift the bell of the company to know the people that are behind it, the beneficial ownership, as we may call it.
So we found out that the company was registered in 2018.
Okay.
And in 2018, in the same 2018, Kano State government dashed a landed property along the Wakin Topa Road to the same company, just dash it, give it out on 2018 when it was registered in 2018, free of charge. And the value of that plot based on estimate of what they have sold plots, because they have distributed, they have carved out plots and sold it as low density, high density, I think medium density, or medium density, I think.
Yeah.
So based on that, we were able to come out with a figure that the proportion or the amount to be generated from that will may perhaps reach about 2 billion naira.
Wow. So
the company just got 2 billion naira free of charge from the government, and so lucky of that company, they were able to secure a contract to come and engage into public-private partnership with Kano government in 2020. And that public-private partnership is not only in Dollar Hotel. They are the one that has been given Triumph Publishing Company.
Wow. So
when we now extended our investigation, we find out that this company is only recycling money that was generated from Kano State government, because there are other properties and other practices that was given to the same company, So we now realize, so now we go after those that are supposed to be behind the company. The first director of the company is one Suleiman Abdulwahab, who is the immediate past managing director of Kano Environmental Kanubda, Environmental Authority. Then who is a son-in-law to the governor, to the immediate past governor of Kano State,
to the former governor,
to the former governor. Then another issue, we now find another name, very prominent name, one something Baoro, if I can remember. That same person was known to be a very close and business partner of the governor. So this is a red flag. So we now dig to know who are the signatories of this same Lamach properties that was given Dollar Hotel and that was given Triumph and other properties of Kano State, which there are many. So we now find out that the person that was projected to be the owner of this company, Lamach, was not even the signatory of the company.
Who is the signatory?
This is the same business partner of the former governor was the signatory of the company. Wow. So we have come to a conclusion which we given the government. What the government, the decision the government took is a different entirely. It's a different thing entirely. But what we tell the government is, this is the incumbent government, that look, this is what we find out, and we have 90% certain that this is just a corporate vehicle used to launder money and to perhaps own these properties in disguise. But there's nothing like private partnership, and that's when perhaps this government decided to perhaps
with the bath water, if I should use
I don't know, but what I'm saying is the government is on with
Barrister, have you recommended to the outgone government to call maybe the Ganduje government to come and explain some of these infractions? Have you made recommendation in your findings to the new governor?
Anyway, I will not disclose what we would recommend to the governor in this platform. But what I know is we have given them our own recommendation.
Yeah.
It is left for the government to decide what to do and how to do and how to do their things. But what I can tell you is, being the chairman of Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission now, then certainly I will ignite the jurisdiction of the commission and the powers of the commission to ask questions about this, because even when they demolish the property, that one is a different issue entirely.
All right.
They do not change the circumstances to which the whole scenario has been dealt with.
Yeah, but as you rightly said, chairman of the Public Complaints Commission, are you satisfied with the approach? Because I remember soon after the swearing in of the new governor, he said a committee will be set up to check some of these infractions and all that. But what we saw was the next day, demolition at Daula, then the government moved to Filusukwa, and then they moved to many other places, up to the Salanta housing estate now. Are you satisfied, or you think the government is rushing in taking some of these decisions?
Oh, but let me say something, one or two things about Salanta.
Yeah.
There's no any demolition that is taking place at Salanta housing estate.
Okay.
With all due respect to anybody that is saying, because I happen to live in Salanta. My house is in Salanta, so I know Salanta.
They are going to destroy your house also. They are going to demolish it.
Nobody is destroying a house at Salanta.
But many houses
What
have
is
been
happening
marked. What
is
is going
that-
on there then? What is going on there?
So if a house has been marked, it is marked in the premises of Kano State Polytechnic.
Okay.
I want you to send your reporter to go to that place and see how some people carve out, or rather the previous administration carved out a residential area within the Kano State Polytechnic. So and it is a fenced community. So it's not an issue that the government is going to a residential area. No, the government is going to what everybody known as a Kano State Polytechnic.
Okay.
That was carved out and was given to some crannies and families. I have a privilege to go through the list.
Were you included among the beneficiaries?
No.
Then where exactly is your house located?
My house is located in Salanta. This place is not Salanta. Is within the Kano State Polytechnic, and that is around that Sheikh Ishaq Rabi Mosque.
Okay.
It's not within the Salanta.
All right.
So what I'm saying is that anybody that's telling you that houses have been destroyed or other houses have been marked as Salanta is a misinformation.
All right.
It is within the Kano State Polytechnic, and in Kano State Polytechnic, you may remember vividly that the students and the staff of that institution has demonstrated tirelessly to show their objection to the cabin of residential areas, residential plots in their school.
Yeah.
And nobody listened to them. So now what happened was that when they cap out, I have seen many names that include a lot of people that perhaps might not like their name to appear in that, because none of them is building in that place.
All right.
They only carve it out and collect money and put in their pockets. And when we discover that majority of the people,
yeah, are you really worried that your relationship went sour with former Governor Ganduje, because you were one of his favorites when the going was really good?
You see, I was not worried, and I think is a very, to me, is something that I was proud of. Number one is many people perhaps termed my performance in that government to be as being dictated by the previous administration. But when all this thing has been rebuilt out to people, and those that will care will know that at least I did not allow myself to be a rubber stamp of anybody, and I did not subject the commission to the dictates of the authority simply because I want to remain in that position. I have a choice to either follow them, do what they want, and perhaps I will not be sacked, or rather do what I know is right and to face the consequences, which I was ready to face the consequences.
Yeah.
And at least I am today proud of myself that I have succeeded in damning those that I feel they are untouchable, and at least I survive it.
Wow.
So now, like the issue of Salanta, as you are saying, okay, when the list is out, you will see a lot of names, and as you rightly said it, I was one of the one of the favorites of the government, but my name was not there, simply because I know how to play things according to the book, and that is my conscience.
All right. Thank you very much, Barrister. We'll go on a short break, and when we return, the conversation continues. Viewers also, don't go away. We'll be back shortly.
I go to break. Okay. Yeah.
Welcome back. If you are just joining the program, this is Daily Politics on Trust TV. Do well to follow the conversation across our platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and watch us live on YouTube. I still have the Chairman of Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission in Kano State, Barrister Muhui Magaji, who was reinstated today. Welcome back to the program. Yes, the role you played, or the role the Public Complaints Commission played in the removal of the former Emir of Kano, Sunusi, is still fresh in the minds of many Nigerians, both at home and abroad. And ahead of the election, you know, the leader of the Konkosia, he said, once NNPP wins, you are going to revisit that dethronement. Now you are back as the chairman of this very important complaints commission. If the government asks you to revisit the matter, will you accept it?
Well, first of all, I will correct the notion that the commission played a role in dethroning the immediate past Emir of Kano State. It is not true.
Okay, what
yes,
did you do?
Of course, the commission has carried out an investigation activities into what is termed to be some activities of the Emirate Council, and I can vividly tell the audience here that the commission was able to recover at least about 370 million naira or thereabouts out of that case.
All right.
So, which means we have done our job. What happens with the political authority is a different issue entirely. We have done our job, we have investigated the matter, and we have never come out to say that this is, or rather the former emir is a culprit or so things. We have done our job, and at least we have concluded to where we can go. Now, and you may not be unaware of the fact that we have investigated even the present emir.
Yes, that is actually the next question I wanted to ask you. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Yes.
So some of the activities of the emir during the present emir. So which means we are not selective. We have done our job, and we did not ask anybody to dethrone the present emir. So as far as I'm concerned, we have done our job, and we are not in any way political, and we are not biased in what we are doing.
Barrister, you know, as you rightly said, you are not a rubber stamp. But I vividly remember that while investigating the reigning emir, at a point you were purportedly or allegedly asked to stop the investigation. Is that correct?
Well, asking us to stop an investigation is one thing, and we stopping the investigation is another thing. Everybody that is familiar with what we are doing in Kano, especially during my time, will know that we are stubborn, and we made ourselves to be a stubborn institution that goes after anything that comes across the lens of the commission to be something that perhaps prohibited by the law that established the commission or any other law prohibiting corruption. And apart from what we are doing in the aspect of anti-corruption, we are equally empowered to look at the public complaints, mediation between parties, for human rights and what have you. And we have done our best. So as far as I'm concerned, we might be asked, if I can answer you indirectly, we may be asked to do one thing and we'll do the other things. So yes, we have done our investigation activities, and the commission was along the line muzzled to some extent. But at least the records are there. What we have done is there, and would not do anything to compromise it. But so I think we have done what we're supposed to do.
The issues that you were allegedly asked to stop investigating revolves around sales of Emirate property that time. And going by, if we add 1+1, going by the body language of the new administration, going by the body language of the spiritual leader of NNPP ahead of the election, those matters will be revisited. And the tendency is that your agency will be asked to carry on with the investigation. Will you do that if they ask you to do it?
Well, if an individual complains to the commission, we are obliged to look into that commission. What more of government? So I used to tell my audience anytime I find myself in platform like this that we do not manufacture parts. We don't use to manufacture laws. We only marry parts and laws to see if there's any infractions. So if tomorrow the government in power asks the commission to investigate certain things, we are empowered by law to look into that directive of the commission, of the government. But the only problem is that we cannot go and create offense for somebody just for us to just come and indict somebody. No, we don't do that, and we cannot do it. And even if you indict somebody, you cannot, ultimately you take somebody to court. And when you go to court, you will be embarrassed, just like in my own case. So as far as I'm concerned, my own case can serve as a replica or as a yardstick for me to at least do what is most appropriate. So if I will answer you directly, if the government asks us to investigate any matter, we'll do it. The outcome of that investigation will determine what the next line of action will be.
Are you now saying your instatement by Governor Yusuf is strictly based on the court judgment, not based on the relationship you have with them?
It might be the combination of two. I will not come and pass this camera of all the audience in Nigeria and beyond to tell lies. I believe if had it been, I did not participate actively in terms of the last election that happens. Perhaps it might be different, especially when some people are saying that this is a stubborn person, because if he can do it to the previous administration that they appointed him, and he did not compromise. What do you expect from this? I want to allow myself to be very close to this government, even before they come in, at least played another role. But I believe it is the court order and the court judgment that is a panacea for me to come back.
All right. After your ouster by the previous government, you double into politics. First to PDP, where you picked its gubernatorial ticket. And then later you now dumped it and then joined the NNPP. How are you going to strike a balance now? Because already you are partisan. People know that you are a politician, a member of NNPP. So how are you going to manage so that some of your actions and inactions will not be misconstrued as vendetta?
Well, first of all, I'm not a judge. I'm only an investigator. An investigator is always biased, so it's not a vendetta.
All right.
What I'm saying is we investigate issues. Based on our findings, we'll go to judge. We project our findings, and the judge will decide what will be the outcome of it. So now, if you look at in some jurisdiction now, like in America, at subnational, just like Kano State, secretary to the state, who is invariably the one that is conducting election, is equally a partisan, because he contests election and win election. The Attorney General to contest election. What I'm trying to find out here is that being partisan politics will not stop you from taking job like this. And I might even be an advocate of the fact that in future we will see a situation whereby Nigerians will elect those that are supposed to be in the position like myself.
Wow.
So that at least they will have a constitutional guide that against what I find myself in it.
Yeah.
Now, and as a second example I will give you is an issue of Attorney General, who happens to be the chief law officer of the state or of the federation. And it's all partisan. So this did not change anything. We are to investigate, and I was partisan even before I was appointed in the first place.
Wow.
I happen to be the local government vice chairman of my local government 2 consecutive times.
Okay.
And I was appointed, hitherto, prior to my appointment, that place, the Kano Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission, was established in 2004.
2004.
That is 2004.
Yeah.
2004. So, and I was appointed in 2015, which means that commission was 11 years old before I come in on board.
That time it was Lawan.
And nobody had much.
It was Lawan? Who was
Yes,
the
I could
chairman
remember vividly. Yes, there's sorry, there's Aminu Inua.
Yes.
And Lawan Kenken and one other person
Who later
that
went to the
comes
House of
before me.
Representatives, yeah.
I could remember, yes. So vividly, that commission was 10 years old before I came in, but we were able to rebrand the commission to make the commission look what it is today.
As if you were the
and
first chairman of the commission,
that,
yeah.
Yes, if I'm not blaming my trumpet, that is what everybody would tell you in Kano. So as far as I'm concerned, it's the passion. When you have passion in the job, yes, political parties are vehicles to powers. But when you come to power, be it NMPP, be it APC, you will go and you will you will take an oath that you will do right to all manner of people without fear or payable affection or ill will, that you will not allow your personal interest to influence your official conduct or your official decision. So as far as I'm concerned, I go by this doctrine, and I will not allow myself to be influenced by any other factor apart from my conscience and passion to this job.
All right, Barrister, those close to the immediate past government allege that you were actually removed as chairman of the Anti-Corruption Commission because of dual loyalty. They felt that while you have good relationship with Governor Ganduje, you still have affinity with Konkoso, and midway they realized that maybe you are double first. Is that correct?
No, my allegiance is to the people of Kano State, and that is why we were able to conduct the investigation which we have carried out.
Okay.
In the course of this discussion, you said that we were alleged to have conducted investigation that relates to Pest family.
Yeah.
We investigated those that were in the traditional institution.
Yes.
We investigate, but I came out openly and claimed that we opened an investigation into the issue of alleged dollar video.
Yeah.
Anybody with useful information shall come forward. So now, at least, I was bold enough to do what we did. So if anybody will claim that I have dual loyalty, my answer to that is I have loyalty to the people and my conscience. Then secondly is, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Second, another aspect of what I want you to understand is that when I was suspended July 2021.
Yeah.
But I could remember, I think January 2021. That is roughly about 5 months prior to that time. The governor invited the now incumbent president to come and commission the new remodel office of that agency.
Wow.
And he made some remarks in that place that the commission is independent and that commission can go after anybody and he will not interfere. Even though at least posterity has proved otherwise, but at least I'm just trying to let you understand that the difference between my ouster And when it was going when the journey was going very well, it's not much more than 3 months.
All right.
And there's nothing tangible enough for anybody that is claiming otherwise to come and show to you that I have any allegiance to anybody. My allegiance is to the people of Kano State, and I did my work diligently to the best of my ability.
I remember an interview we had with you, where you said when Ganduje leaves office, if you have your way, you will revisit the dollar issue. Are you going to revisit it now that you are back to your office?
I mean it.
How do you mean?
You said you remember when you had an interview with me,
yes,
which I can equally remember vividly.
Exactly.
And I told you.
Now are you going to go after that case again?
Yes, and I know that time when I told you that it is when he was the incumbent governor.
Yes.
So now, if I can tell you that when he was the incumbent governor, which I was working under him, what more of now? So I mean every word I said, because as that time I told you that we open an investigation and we are investigating, but there are certain limitations because any incumbent governor or deputy governor or president or vice president has immunity under the Nigerian constitution. So there's limit to what we can do. Now I think that limit is no more. The commission will do what is necessary.
Okay, will you have an input into what the governor asked his commissioner nominees to do? That is to go and declare their assets at the Code of Conduct Bureau. At your level now, will you do some background checks and see whether you will advise the governor to rescind the decision to appoint some of them or not to? Especially going by the allegation that he picks his nephew, who is more or less his son, as you know, one of the appointees, commissioner nominees. That is this his nephew, whom he has given the Culture Bureau in Kano. Is that really honorable?
As far as I'm concerned, I try as much as I can do to be apolitical, because yes, I may be partisan before election, but when I come in, especially occupying a sensitive position like my own now,
yes,
I will try as much as I can to see that I stay away from politics. Dwelling ourselves, like during the local government election in Kano,
yes,
we now come and issued a rules which we are empowered by law to issue such kind of rule that we will not investigate anything that will be termed to be political until after local government election. So anybody that comes with this, because if election if we are in the election season, you see a lot of petitions, sometimes frivolous petitions. So we took notice of such kind of things. So what I'm trying to say is that yes, if the government asks us to do like they used to do in the past, then ready to go and liaise with our sister agencies to do what is necessary.
Okay.
But we, as we are today, we will not just involve ourselves in something that perhaps is not within our mandate by law to do. Now, secondly, it's an issue of appointment. I think appointment is within the prerogative of the governor to appoint whosoever he may wish to appoint to occupy a position. Yes, I have seen what is going around, that the governor may appoint his nephew into history and culture bureau, and they are bringing I'm just trying to choose my words. The argument is that the governor has promised the people of Kano that he will not involve his family into the affairs of the governor.
Yes.
So now I believe when the governor is saying this, he has in his mind, I'm not a mouthpiece of the governor, and I am not in any way I'm not in position to say something about him, but I can tell you my own understanding of things, being somebody who happens to come from Kano and who is in government. Right. Now let me tell you, I just give you an example.
Because we have run out of time, maybe in 1 minute or less.
Yes. Yes, I can tell you that I just give you an example of somebody who is an son-in-law to the governor and who is occupying a position in government and who is equally having something to do with the company, that's Lamash. Now, that one is a different issue. We find ourselves in Kano whereby a wife of the governor will be much more than deputy governor in terms of influence, or rather, at times much more than the governor.
Right.
And that is when the governor said his children and the wife and any of his immediate family will not be part of the government, and I believe he will keep to that promise.
All right, thank you very much, Barrister Muhi Magaji, Chairman, Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission in Kano State, for your informed perspective. We thank you for coming to the program.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
Viewers, that's a wrap on today's edition. Join us tomorrow for another interesting package. Bye-bye for now. I am Hamza Idris.